What if you lost your job and couldn't pay the rent or mortgage? What would you do? That's what thousands of people each year have wondered, and some of them have become homeless. I understand what being homeless is all about because I was homeless for a time, living out of my car, staying at different people's homes, and not really having a place to call home. The definition of homeless, according to Webster's Dictionary, is having no place to live, having no home or permanent place to reside. Today, I will talk about why people are homeless, who exactly are the people that are homeless, and what can we do to help homeless people. The first thing I'm going to talk about is why people are homeless. Well, between 2008 and 2009, the foreclosure rate jumped 32%. And that left a lot of people not knowing where they were going to live. 6 million jobs were lost since the recession started. And there weren't as many jobs available for people to apply for. Plus, declining wages with those jobs was a big factor. Because of the minimum wage rate, people were working, but because they were making minimum wage, could not afford to pay their rent. And then public assistance kind of declined also. People who were trying and working lost a lot of their public assistance. There weren't enough services for the mentally ill or the addicted person. They could not get treatment. And that was very hard on them. So they stayed homeless instead of getting treatment and the help they needed to learn how to rethink their process, their thought process, and live in society as you or I would. Also, the seriously ill people could not afford health care and their housing together. They had to choose either their health care or their housing. Now that I've talked about why people are homeless, I'm going to talk about who is homeless. Well, 1.7 million are homeless teens. And 39% of that are under the age of 18. And the average teen that is homeless is almost 15 years old. Also, there are 271,000 vets that are homeless because they cannot get the help they need. They don't have the resources. They just aren't available for them. And I personally think that is really sad. They're vets. They have protected our country, and they cannot get the help they need. We have the elderly who sit on a street holding signs because they don't have any money, they don't have any place to live. People just walk by on the street, children included, wondering who these people are. We have families that live out of their car and wonder where the next meal is going to be, including single mothers with children, fathers holding their daughters, and children all alone throughout the world that are homeless and not knowing where their parents are or how they're going to get by. Also, from the National Coalition for the Homeless, there are more males than females that are homeless, but families have increased. Battered women, they have to choose whether they want to stay in that abusive relationship or get out and be homeless. They don't know where to go, where their next meal is going to come from, or if they're ever going to have a roof over their head. Now that I've talked about who is homeless, I'm going to talk about what we can do to help the homeless. We need to be on top of the government. We need to make sure that there is funding out there to help these people, because it's just not lazy slobs that aren't working or that don't want to do anything, pay their bills. They actually need a place to go, like our vets, like battered women, like children. They actually need a place where they can go, where they can get the resources necessary to help them have basic necessities: a roof over their head, food in their mouth, and clothes on their back. We can help out at soup kitchens, volunteer to help the homeless get a hot meal. And we can just be kind to the homeless and not just shrug them off like they're just a piece of garbage on the street. Yes, there are some people out there who are just out there to make a buck, but there are also truly, truly people in need that need us to help them. So, I have talked about who is homeless, why people are homeless, and what we can do to help homeless people. I really hope that you don't lose your homes and your jobs and become in this situation someday, because I personally do know that it is not a good place to be.